Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your monthly reading for March 2026. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to jump right in. If you are new to my channel, I'm going to give you your astrological overview, then your full Celtic cross spread. Then I break it down week by week. I pull my cards. We talk about a couple more aspects, and then the second spread. Now, Sagittarius, I think you're really going to like this month. There's something big happening for you. Something I've read a lot of your comments about some things, that's what's going on with your life. But I think that you're gonna like this month. It is a good month, and I already have good news for you. You have been accepted to Spiritual Warrior Academy. Congratulations. Classes start now. Okay. This month, you're going to be going through a lot of life experiences that really test you. Okay. They're going to test that leader, the role model, the, hero within you, your vision, moving forward, all of that. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you're going to have a little bit more fun this month. But with that said, all these tests this month, it's so you get what you want, everything that you deserve. And you can thank Saturn and Neptune. Yeah. They paid for your enrollment for Spiritual Warrior Academy. And to be honest, they also gave you no choice. So you are going to be in transformation mode. There's going to be a lot happening for you. And yes, home, family, your domestic sector is just, there's so much emphasis there. And I know there's been, things going on for the past few years, but we'll talk about it. It's part of this big relief that you're going to have. And honestly, thanks to last week's Great Reset, okay? Talked about that last week. I mean, what a moment. You're in a new stage in your life already. I'm sure you're already feeling it. And one thing I want to just point out real quick. Sure, the Great Reset, the aspect, Saturn conjunct Neptune, 0 degrees Aries, never experienced in modern human history. That was such a big deal. People they forgot that it was happening in eclipse season. So yes, there is another eclipse for you. Okay, but here's the thing: you last February, right? You were, or just a few weeks ago, you were asked to start creating your new reality, and you've obviously been doing an amazing job. You're Sagittarius, but the planets this month, they're gonna say, receipts, please. Yeah, prove it, show us, and own it. Okay. Luckily, you have amazing teachers. You got Saturn, you got Neptune, you got Mars. All the planets are going to guide you through, okay, to your new era, because March it feels like an initiation on your new journey. You're starting to build this new world that you want to live in. Okay. But by the middle of the month of March, you're going to be expected to make it real. Okay. There is another reset happening. We'll talk about it, but it is, the equinox. And that's another thing. By the time we get to March 20th, all the planets will be direct. We'll talk about it, but just know we are still in eclipse season. Radical change is in the air. All right. Especially for you. I'm like, okay, Sagittarius, a lot of you are getting new jobs, but here's the thing. You'll notice that there are no blue asterisks that indicate the best aspects. And that's because if you saw my March astrology overview live stream, which I'll leave at the end of this video, you're welcome. March, there is almost a major aspect every day. All right. Almost every day. Some days, 2, 3, 4. You saw your 2026 forecast, right? Where I talked about March and how it's just so loaded. There's just so much happening here. That's relief in itself. No challenging aspects, no squares, no oppositions, none out of the 40-ish major aspects that are happening in March. And that's planetary wise, okay? Planet to planet. Remember, we're not including the moon, the lunations, emotions, feelings. That's a whole other thing. But here's the thing. No challenging aspects. However, there are going to be some aspects where the magnitude of them, they're going to be really strong. So it really is going to be up to you on how you handle that energy. All right. Because March, it really is one of the best months of 2026. Now, one last thing that you need to know. I said this in your 2026 forecast and the live stream that I just did. February, April, and July are the three biggest flashpoints of 2026. They're the movers and shakers, really big things happening, okay? And you just heard me say February and April. All right, so March sits right in the middle. March is like a bridge. And you're going to notice that the majority of the planets in our solar system will be in this small area of the sky, just like this, a little pie out of the chart. And yeah, so they're all going to be in Pisces and Aries, the majority, right? We're not including Jupiter, Uranus. Pisces is the end, right? Pisces, the last zodiac, represents endings, and then Aries, the beginning of the beginning. And so you can expect, again, out with the old world collapsing, and you're moving into the new. Now, the other thing is, yeah, Mercury will be retrograde for, the first few weeks. So keep that in mind. There's going to be some moments this month where you are going, it's part of the test. Like, what are you willing to let go for your new era? That is going to be a big part of your test. So let's get, and the other thing is, I'm going to just go over the main highlights. No, we're not going to go over everything here. And yes, there's more in the back, and there's a lot that's not even on the whiteboard. Remember, big month, a lot of aspects. And some of these, yeah, we'll talk about them when we break it down week by week. But the other thing I want you to do is I want you to focus or pay attention to the first week, okay? Because next week I will be skipping the first week to go to the second week, which is banana sauce, all right? So right off the bat, not even on the whiteboard, Sunday, March 1st, Ceres will be conjuncting Chiron and Eris in Aries. 24 degrees. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up for you is because there's a lot happening here. Ceres is, a dwarf planet, right? Like Pluto, okay? She's Virgo's dwarf planet. It's all about nourishment, nurturing yourself. I mean, we'll get deeper in it next week because she will be moving into Taurus, all right? However, for now, she's still in Aries, conjuncting the wounded healer and Eris, the goddess warrior, right? Mars' sister. So what does this mean? It means as soon as you move into this week, take care of yourself, okay? Take care of yourself. Ceres is like Mama Bear. She's Mother Earth. This is a big deal with her, with Chiron and Eris. There could be something here that's already really emotional, but you have to take care of yourself because you need to be in a good place to support those that you love, right? And so you may be asking yourself as soon as you move into March, what are the needs that I have that haven't been met yet? Okay. How do I feel protected and respected and have that fairness? All right. So again, it's not an act of like being selfish. It's Ceres who's saying you need to be good to take care of others. And she does also represent like food intolerances, insensitivities, etc. We'll talk about it later, but I just wanted you to know that because that is your fifth house, all right? Of romance and joy, pleasure, children. So a lot of family stuff already, okay? Significant other. And even, I feel like you're going to do a lot of creative work, like healing through creativity. All right. Or maybe starting a business. Like it. All right. It's your fifth house. Anyway, Monday, March 2nd, Mars will be moving into Pisces. Now, this is going to be the first time in 2 years. As you know, Pisces is very spiritual. It's emotional, very, intuitive energy, creative, healing. And Mars isn't into any of that. All right. He likes action movies. So here's the thing. You would think that Mars doesn't do well in Pisces the way he doesn't do well in Cancer, right? He is not bad in Pisces. What he does is he directs all his energy into the spiritual and the metaphysical, into, therapy, into healing, into the creative arts, because he's wading through the infinite emotional waters of Pisces relentlessly, because he is the ruler of Aries, which is the next sign over. So he can see. Yeah. He didn't even need a telescope or a periscope, whatever it is. He can see. He wants to get home. So his conviction is like a mountain. And you are going to feel this because he's generating energy in the dreamy spiritual seascape of Pisces. So you know there's going to be ripples. It's Mars. All right. So this is an awakening in itself, but for the entire month, this is your soul lit. This is you feeling emotionally, spiritually driven. This is your passion on blast, right? You taking inspired action toward things that inspire you. And so you are going to be asking yourself a lot of deep questions like, what is truly meaningful to me, especially when it comes to home and family? All right. Um, Pisces rules their fourth house. And so home, family, your domestic sector, parents, grandparents, children, all of that, right? Your significant other, even real estate, property matters. There's going to be a lot of aspects. So some of y'all may be selling property. Maybe you, are working with a realtor. Maybe you're buying property, whatever it is. Your fourth house, Mars is now here. That said, Mars, remember, can be a little aggressive. So you just want to stay with that creative vibe, all things divine, connect with that, but use Mars, initiate things. All right. There's going to be a lot of activity here because Mars, Venus, Mercury, the sun. Yeah, you have a stellium in Pisces. Okay. And so the other thing is that it just feels like, well, we do have a new moon in Pisces. I'll tell you when we get to that. All right. Now, I do want to talk about this first. Tuesday, March 3rd, the total blood moon, lunar eclipse in Virgo. And this is going to be about 13 degrees, about 6 a.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time, if you want to convert that to wherever you live in the world. And yes, if you are in the U.S., you will be able to see it. All right. So lunar eclipses, as you know, they're, 100 times stronger than a normal full moon. Yeah? And so full moons represent endings, turning points, culmination, things illuminated for you. There could be a lot of memories that you have around this time. That's the moon, but it's an eclipse, okay? And we are in Pisces season, the last zodiac, the end, right? So there's truly something here coming to completion, okay? There may even be a personal reckoning because Pisces, again, rules the fourth house. That's a very private part of your chart, right? Of you. And so you're going to go through a lot of experiences and have a lot of feelings. Remember, eclipses bring change. And especially lunar eclipses are known to eclipse things out of your life. All right. So keep that in mind. That is all in your fourth house, but it's in Virgo, right? So I want you to remember, or I want you to think about what happened for you around August or September last year. Remember, we had those two back-to-back new moons in Virgo and also a total solar eclipse in Virgo. Or was it? It was still solar eclipse in Virgo, 29 degrees. That was September 21st. So think about August, September. What happened in the home sector for you? Okay. In your domestic life, the foundations of your life. Here's the turning point. All right. And this is very strong, mutable energy. You are going to feel this. You will be adapting to change. And remember, eclipses, you feel the impact, weeks before, weeks after. I mean, their cycles, right? And so it could also be your ascension, right? Because this is in Virgo. Remember, the Virgo Pisces axis is what I call the healing path. And so, yes, something here could be really emotional. It could also be very cathartic for you. It's also Mercury ruled. So, yeah, there may be some truths coming to light. There may be some, emotional conversations that you have around this time. Maybe a new way of thinking, of moving forward. You may even do some traveling. There may be something here with landlords as well. But just keep that in mind. The bigger picture here is not only the workplace. A lot of y'all are going to be changing jobs or changing your routine in career and work, or you're going to want to. There's activity there because Virgo rules your 10th house of career. So you have a lot of home stuff happening. You have a lot of career stuff happening. Okay. So just keep that in mind. The 10th house is not only career, it's, it's your ambitions, right? it's very public facing. So if you're not here for career, it's whatever you want to be recognized for. Okay. It's also honors and achievements and whatnot. But Virgo rules the workplace and just happens to rule your 10th house of career. They're two very different things. And so there may be some things happening here. And remember, if you're, a Virgo sun, like you're a Virgo, yeah, then, or not a Virgo, I'm sorry, if you're a Sagittarius sun, sometimes, a lot of these things, they're not about you, right? That they would have an impact on, just within your world, like the people that things like that. And so it could even be like maybe your boss suddenly quits, yeah, at the eclipse, and there you go, you were next in line. So do you see how this works? But again, the big takeaway, it's on the health axis, and so you want to be very mindful of just pay attention to your health, okay? And that includes everything: physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, social, all of it, right? Because I dropped these forecasts a few days, before the month begins. If you're watching it before you even get to Mars square Uranus being in Taurus in your 6th house of not only work and the workplace, but also health. And so they're clumped together, these really strong aspects, okay? They're bookending Ceres right on top of Chiron and Aries. And so just bear that in mind, okay? There's just something here that may show you where you're not taking care of yourself, okay? Where possibly there may be something that you need to put some focus on, especially work-wise and career-wise. Like, are you putting too much energy into perfectionism? Yeah, when it comes to work, career, is that stressing you out? Remember, those are the lower expressions of Virgo, where you're hard on yourself, where you're being self-critical, where you're worrying too much, where you're overworking, burnout, yeah, where you have strict routines, where you have pessimistic thinking. That's all those lower expressions that everyone would be working on, right? But for you, a lot of it will be, career, partnerships, and I wouldn't even be surprised if there was something here with partnerships with significant others. Well, maybe some contracts, agreements, marriage, etc. Okay. Now, and also remember, listen, nobody's perfect. Okay. We're all human. So take this time to focus on you. Virgo energy is all about purification. Yeah. So consider this a detox to burn that sage. Burn that sage. Virgo, Mercury, rules the nervous system. Yeah. The digestive system as well. That's why it's important to talk about Ceres. All right. So, again, just trust your gut. Yeah. But either way, all you want to do is release anything that no longer serves your higher good. You want to protect your time, your health, your heart, your mission, everything. Okay. Do some breath work, do some gardening, grounding. It's Virgo, earth sign. Put crystals in your water. One of my best tips I've ever given on this channel. And just know that there's going to be some adjustments around this time for you. All right. Now, if you are a cross watcher, if you watch for your rising or your moon, or for your husband, Mark, or for your sister, Molly, whoever, it will be the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and you, that feel this eclipse the most. If you have any planets 10 to 15 degrees in any of those signs in your natal chart, well, those planets will be aspected. You would feel it strong. Okay. Now, this is what, when we talk about eclipses, which only happen they only what, 4 a year, sometimes 6, 5, but usually 4 a year. Yes, they bring immense change. A lot of it's gradual. Yeah. A lot of it, again, can be on the day, but I don't want you to be afraid of eclipses. Okay. Especially lunar eclipses. It's just, wolves howling, etc. This day, you're going to have Venus that's exalted in Pisces, sextiling Uranus and Taurus. So what? So this is absolutely amazing. You got Cash App, You got Venmo? You have a bank account? Because you have Venus, the planet of money, with this auspicious connection, alignment with Uranus, the planet of surprises, that happens to be in Taurus, the finance sign. Venus is home. So yeah, there could be something here with money involved that's really, really nice. There could be something here lucrative. Again, there may be some homes being sold, or you're selling something, or you're receiving a check. There honestly, a lot of this could have to do with healthcare too around this time, but just know, even like an unexpected raise, there's just so much when it comes to career. All right, that could be very, very nice. And yes, it's Venus. So if you're not here for career or fame, there honestly could be something here with love and romance and creative projects. But either way, you're gonna see change, or you're gonna have a breakthrough, at least in like relationships and career. Remember, sextiles are windows of opportunity for you to take action, all right? And Venus exalted, you're going to feel magnetic. And please be social. Venus is social. You never know who you'll meet. You never know what doors will open for you. That's Uranus, okay? So Uranus wants you to break out of your comfort zone. We only get this aspect twice a year. Use it, okay? There can be some really great payoff here, all right? And it will be the last aspect you're going to have with an exalted Venus. Now, the other reason why you're going to love this eclipse is because you see what's happening, right? Right after. Jupiter's already connecting with the eclipse. So you're already getting, and Jupiter's your ruler, already connecting with the eclipse, but Jupiter's wife, Juno, all right? Asteroid, Juno, Hera's, Hera in Greek. She rules truth, justice, equality in love and marriage and partnerships and business partners and contracts and agreements and, commitments. She will be connecting with the eclipse too. So you have husband and wife, Jupiter and Juno, they work in your favor with this amazing nodal axis. And so Juno is in Capricorn in your second house of money. Yeah. Salary, income, earning potential. That would be the second house. Again, if you're not here for money, it would be something along the lines of your values or self-worth, self-value. There could be something here that you're, recognizing, right? Things illuminate for you. Like, oh, you know what? I am the best employee on my team. I deserve a raise. I'm worth more than this. And there you go. There's your close moment. You have that conversation with your boss or whatever it is. You go with your intuition. I'm just saying everything's lined up really nicely here, and there could be some changes for you, okay? And then when we get to Thursday, March 5th, you have the Sun in Pisces trine Jupiter in Cancer. And again, this is just one of two times we will have it this year. The second time will actually be in your birthday season in December. But when you have the Sun trining the planet of luck and good fortune and wisdom and profit, yeah, who's at his degree of exaltation. I talked about that last week, but Cancer rules your 8th house of money. Yeah, that's shared resources. Okay, that would be inheritance or investments or commissions, bonuses, royalties, loans, taxes, things like that, but also relationship building. The 8th house is so intimate. You got Jupiter exalting in Cancer here, so you got your 2 money houses activated during this eclipse. Yeah, Jupiter, your ruler, bringing you all this, success potential, optimism and hope and self-belief and your faith just being restored in something here. And again, it can be like a relationship that you're really trying to build. It can also be like, sure, lover or business partner. It could also be maybe a financial advisor. It could be an investor, things like that. So there's something here where it just feels like you have these great opportunities opening up for you, okay? Or you're going to be broadening your horizons in some way. Remember, Jupiter expands and, is good fortune. So just keep that in mind. Your sense of purpose could be really locked in, especially when it does come to career and work, but also just how you want to be recognized, like your legacy, okay? because both your 10th and your 8th are activated, to be honest. All right. So, and again, yes, home and family matters. It's still energy here. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, will feel the Sun, trine Jupiter aspect the most. And I am going to throw in Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, the earth signs. If you have any planets 13 to 17 degrees in any of the water signs in your chart, you're good. All right. Now, March 6th, Friday, Venus will leave her, place of exaltation and move into Aries. So she's going to immediately join Saturn and Neptune, right? So at those early degrees, you can expect a big shift in relationships, okay? And money, creative projects, and becoming a leader, like that role model, that leader, that energy of it, like I am, that is, Aries energy, maybe new projects for business as well. But you are going to feel a lot more confident, okay, and driven, assertive, maybe a little less open to compromise as well, all right? Because just the way that Mercury it doesn't do well in Pisces, Saturn, he's in his fall in Aries, Uranus feels stuck in Taurus, while Venus, who is harmony and diplomacy, doesn't do well in the sign of I am. But you make it work. And Venus, the planet of love and money, has just moved into Aries. That is your 5th house of joy, pleasure, and love, and true love and romance. So yeah, you're going to have a big shift here. Okay? If you're single, you're going to have you're going to be really going out there for them suitors. Okay? It's all about putting yourself first, but in a way where it's like you're asking yourself, like, what's in it for me? Yeah. But in a way where, again, it's more about serving your higher purpose, your higher good. And it is your 5th house. So much creative energy that is just, you can definitely take advantage of. Okay. Art projects, write a book, use it in your Zoom calls, this creativity. It's going to be really nice. Now, Saturday, March 7th, you do have Mercury conjunct the Sun in Pisces. So you do have a Mercury Cazimi during a retrograde. In your 4th house of home and family. There's just something here where it's just going to be that, like, revelatory. There may be something here where you have some, flash of insight. Pay attention to your dreams. This is really strong, okay? This Cazimi, all right? Remember, Pisces is, dreams. You may even astral project. That's how strong this is. It does feel like a mini spiritual awakening, but there's something that may really just make sense in home and family and, your domestic sector. All right. You might make a big announcement around this time as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if y'all start planning some travel. Anyway, it will also be, by the way, if you're a subscriber, I always tell you when the moon is in Scorpio, the moon will be in Scorpio. And so this and that's another planet that doesn't do well in a sign. But the moon in Scorpio, yeah, it's going to bring this emotional intensity, all right, for the next few days. However, the moon in Scorpio will form a grand water trine with Jupiter in Cancer, Mercury in Pisces. And remember, you experienced a lot of this, last fall. This is kind of a big deal, right, for you. There's a lot of changes, especially, at the top of the pyramid here. Honestly, it's going to be like love and relationships and building relationships and sex. Both your 5th and 8th house. A lot of you are going to have kids soon. Babies. All right. Congratulations. And if not, remember, your 4th house is so activated. It could be a grandkid or someone moving into just think big changes. All right. Jupiter expands. Now, mutable signs will feel that the most. That includes you. All right. Now, the Cazimi. On the same day, we will have Venus conjunct Neptune in Aries. And so Venus being the lower, octave of Neptune, little sister, big sister, this is quite powerful. This is, again, creativity. It's the arts. It's music. It's dance. It's filmography. Is visionary. The music part is I would take advantage of that. All right. Hemisync, flow state. all of that. Play music that inspires you. And dream big. It's Neptune. It's a conjunction. All right. So there's just going to be really big romantic vibes around this time, especially with the moon in Scorpio too. Now, Sunday, March 8th, happy daylight savings. Yeah. There's 4 major things happening this day. Venus will conjunct Saturn. All right. 2 degrees. So speaking of initiation, right? This is the first time you've had Venus conjunct Saturn in Aries in 29 years. All right. This is, again, Venus is everything that your heart desires. So relationships, money, she's your values. Saturn, obviously, he makes things, long lasting. He's all about commitments. So there's something here about taking love, relationships, family matters, like, children, the joy of having children, or your child, relationship with your child, as well as creative projects or even your hobbies, really taking it to a new level because there's a new cycle starting here. But remember what I said, Venus nor Saturn do well in Aries. So and Mercury's retrograde and Saturn's conjunct Neptune. So this is a powerful aspect. It's more have a check-in with yourself on your desires and your passions, because Venus, again, very social. Aries is more like, nope, all about me, very independent energy, right? So this is when you're going to ask yourself, what do I want to initiate here to be the best version of myself as well, right? Saturn is karma, yeah? And karma literally means action in Sanskrit. And Saturn, whose karma is literally in the sign of action. So you've got to take action for what you want, all right? And it is powerful. You might have to make a big decision or move in a different direction or ascend in a certain way, okay? But there is something big brewing here, all right? That you're going to give more structure to, more discipline. Now, it will be the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Feel that the most. If you have any planets 0 to 4 degrees in any of those signs in your natal chart, yeah, big things, like, for sure. Okay, relationships, even money matters. All right, salary. Now, with everything else that's happening on this same day, though, Mercury will trine Jupiter at 15 degrees, and so what is going on? This is absolutely amazing. There really may be something here, again, with relationships, with, building relationships, building your wealth. You could also have really great messages, maybe important conversations. You could get lucky news, reports, insights. You may make an announcement here. This is very uplifting. And again, just something really meaningful could happen around this time. Remember, Jupiter's still at his degree of exaltation. It's also a good day to, like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some big announcement around the home sector. Maybe, I don't know, someone with a home makes a big announcement, or you have, this really great fun conversation, whatever it is. Remember, Mercury's retrograde. So a lot of circumstances and events and even people from your past will likely be emerging around this time or be part of those conversations. Now, it will be the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that feel this the most, throwing in Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And that grand water trine is still going on, by the way. All right. And then on March 10th, Jupiter, your ruler, will finally go direct. You are going to feel this like night and day when Jupiter goes direct in his exaltation of Cancer. You're going to feel this, especially in home and family, because, I mean, you have a lot of energy there. Yeah. Even you've got 3 planets, the North Node, all in your 4th house. Jupiter natively rules Pisces. So already brings energy there. But Jupiter, again, is, luck and expansion and support and confidence, security in your personal life. You're going to start feeling a lot more of these blessings, right? It's really, really nice. But again, relationships and building your wealth and, like, your legacy, all of that is very 10 of Pentacles for you. And then we'll talk about these later. Again, you're seeing that even with Mars conjunct the North Node, Mercury conjunct Mars, both in Pisces, you're seeing that a lot is going to be changing for you this month in the home sector. All right. Now, we'll talk about some more of those aspects later, or even next week. All right. Now, um, yeah, and then Ceres does move into Taurus. But the big thing that I just want to show you real quick, I would really mark this in your calendar, March 17th to the 21st, really big cluster of concentration of big activity. Tuesday, March 17th, happy St. Patrick's Day. We have Mercury conjunct the North Node in Pisces. All right. So coming after Mercury conjunct Mars conjunct the North Node, you now have a Mercury conjunct the North Node again in Pisces. So there's so much energy building. Something faded, right? It's the North Node. Now, remember what I told you in February, in your February forecast. I said pay attention to February 12th when Mercury conjuncts the North Node, because it happened back then. I said when we get to March 20th, when Mercury goes direct, it will be at that same degree. So from March 17th to March 20th, 21st, something from February 12th is coming back around. All right. It could have been a conversation that you had, a DM. It could have been, just think Mercury, the messenger, right? Just pay attention, because what's happening here is that you also have the new moon in Pisces. That's Wednesday, March 18th. So this is one of the best new moons of the year. I love this new moon. It's very magical. It's got these, visionary vibes. It's a new moon at 28 degrees, right? As the beginning of the end, right before we move into Aries season in 2 days, the beginning of the beginning, the equinox. So again, true ending and beginning here that you're going to start feeling, especially in home and family. So a lot of y'all are going to have a lot of you are going to be moving. Just letting you know that. If you haven't already, you're moving, okay? Especially around this time, even up to a month, 2 months after. Remember, you give it a 6-month window with the new moons, but you feel the strongest energies closer to it. Here's the thing. You will have the sun sextile Uranus as well. So, that's amazing. And Uranus is all about change, right? And we're out of the squares, by the way. Like I said, even in February, when we had all those squares with Uranus and Taurus, that was, in your 6th house, which could have been the workplace, where you had unexpected, like, whoa, what's going on? Moments, health matters as well. Those are done. We're out of that cycle. So they're all amazing aspects with Uranus this time around. So the sun, sextile Uranus, is pretty much baked into this new moon. We have another grand trine with Uranus and Taurus, Sun in Pisces, and Juno in Capricorn. So it is a very special new moon, and you are going to feel it. And the reason why I say that this could feel, you might really like this month, and it may be a relief, is because you had Saturn and Neptune. Okay, not just Saturn, but Saturn and Neptune. Like, what's real? What's going on? Okay, last year in your 4th house, but you had Saturn in your 4th house for 2.5 years, and it was bringing a lot of emphasis in your home sector, right? Maybe your, husband, your wife, like anything that has to do with a home, your personal life, grandparents, it's children, all of that. Now, Saturn really, again, makes you work. He's all about life lessons, and he's out. He's no longer here. So this is going to be a different feeling that you have, all right, with this new moon. And it's not just Saturn. It's Neptune that's out. All these planets, you see, Venus is leaving Pisces. The sun is about to move out of Pisces after this new moon. They're all leaving. And so your life lessons when it came to the home sector, this is it. Once this new moon, right? It's you're gonna have a lot more focus on what brings you joy and pleasure. Things in your 5th house, like having a baby, okay, or starting a business, or getting married, falling in love, things like that. Anyway, it will be the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and you that feel this new moon the most. If you have any planets 25 to 29 degrees in any of the mutable signs in your natal chart, you're really going to feel this end of an era aspect the most, okay? And remember, if you do, those degrees were being hammered for about a year. All right. So Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, relief, big relief. Okay. Now, um, March 20th on Friday. Yeah, we have the equinox. Happy spring, happy fall in the southern hemisphere. This is when the sun moves into Aries, and the sun is exalted in Aries, and Mercury goes direct, no longer retrograde. So, this is another, like I said, another reset. This is the real new year. Okay. I've talked about this, um, and it bears repeating. It bears repeating. This is the real new year. For thousands and thousands of years, this was the new year, okay? Until, hey, a Pope Gregory decided just, a few hundred years ago to change the entire calendar system, all right? Pope Gregory, the Gregorian calendar. And so that you can go with any month, take any month, November, right? Nueve, Novo, 9. Why is it the 11th month? You can do it with every month. This is the real new year. So happy new year. All right. And it just makes sense. This is when things in our world naturally come to life. And we all have biofields. We are connected with Earth. You're just going to start feeling this. Okay. This is going to feel like a portal right at the time of the new moon in Pisces, where something's ending, something's beginning. You're moving into Aries season, the beginning of the beginning. Mercury goes direct. A lot more clarity returning. Pay attention to this new moon again in your fourth house. Now, what makes this new moon even more special is, or not the new moon, but this cluster dates the new moon, the equinox, and now Saturday, March 21st, Mars trine Jupiter. And so, wow. I don't even know what to tell you. This is amazing. This is, it's rare. We don't get this often, and we'll talk about more in your weekly forecast. But the fact that Jupiter hasn't been in Cancer since 2014, Jupiter being exalted in Cancer, we haven't had this in 12 years. All right. And Mars trine Jupiter is one of my favorite aspects. It's all or nothing. Okay. It's LFG. Hashtag gains. Mars is action. Jupiter expands. Your actions are going to be blessed. It's Jupiter. It's your ruler. All right. Something here. There's this element of success. There's this. I mean, you have the sun exalted in Aries too. So a lot of great stuff happening for you. A lot of this is confidence, it's drive, it's libido as well. It's your fourth, your eighth, your fifth. A lot of great stuff in the home sector. A lot of great stuff with romance and building your wealth and your legacy. You're going to be a magnet, all right? With Jupiter exalted in Cancer in your eighth. And remember, at the core, the eighth is really deep. There's depth to the eighth house. It can get really psychological, but it is all about your transformation. All right. Now, we will have a Neptune Cazimi, as you can see, March 22nd. I really love that. I think they're going to be really creative in terms of like, if you're single, like meeting someone, if you're in a relationship, pillow talk or, fun stuff. Anyway, we'll talk. Well, there's a couple things that I'll talk about, but let's get started. Let's see what's going on for you, Sagittarius, for March 2026. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh yeah, Sagittarius, y'all, come on, you're amazing. You're amazing, and yeah, I do have to tell you about the Saturn Cazimi that we're gonna have on March 25th. All right, we'll do it later. We'll do it later when we break it down week by week. Sagittarius, I do a traditional cultural crossbred. Offers the best overview, especially for our monthly forecast. And if we need to pull clarifiers, we will. And Sagittarius, y'all are amazing. I'm very excited for you. You're moving into this very, very nice new stage in your life. I mean, there's so many great things happening, but yeah, a lot of y'all are definitely going to be changing jobs or careers or, or just doing something different. Yeah. Ascending, like I said, ascending. Let's get started. Oh, Sagittarius. Okay. Yeah, there's gonna be some change. There will be some change. Well, you got the Page of Cups, so there you go. Amazing. As soon as you move into the month, you have the Page of Cups. This is you just following your bliss, feeling inspired. Here's that creative energy. Yeah. And sure, it can be toward the arts, it can be toward anything, problem solving, whatever it is. This is you being you and being curious. And, he wears his heart on his sleeve. This is someone who's got a great imagination, but it's cups, it's emotions, it's feelings. So you're definitely going to be moving towards something that, again, it's where you want to be emotionally fulfilled, but following your bliss, or something has already begun or will begin. All right. So I really love it. And yes, it can be someone that's come into your life, but whatever it is, this is really nice. Follow your heart. Okay. Follow your heart. I think that's what you're going to be doing. And a lot of this is saying, like, you have a vision, you have an idea, you're moving in this direction, and you're testing the waters. Okay. You have the Two of Wands and the heart of your spread. That's great. I mean, the Two of Wands is all about just, listen, things have begun, and now I'm kind of like in this space. It's very new to me. Saturn conjunct Neptune in your fifth house will be very new to you. You got Venus going in there. When we get to April, yes, we will have 7-ish planets in Aries, all in Aries. Again, never been done before. It's never happened before as part of its, new moon, and that is your fifth. Yeah. So, a lot of changes, but this is you kind of just holding on to, like, okay, it feels like testing the waters, testing things out. Let me plan things a little bit more. Let me process things. I understand Mercury is retrograde. Let me just, I can't give like a firm, yes or no to this. Let me see what is best for me, right? And so do it. Take all the time that you need to process things, to plan things, organize, but also think about your future. Yeah, he's standing at the highest point in his castle. He's got the world in his hand. He's made accomplishments. He wants to do things, but he's not going to just, he's not like the fool, right? This is someone who's like, yeah, let me figure things out. And it is wands. So a lot of, work, career, profession, your passions. Think your passions. Wands have the spirit of fire. Yeah. So this thing of like fire in your belly. Yeah, that 7 of Wands. That's great because in your challenge area. And so when you look at what's happening here, it feels like you can drop your sword. Yeah, you may have felt like you've been in defense mode, or even this month you may feel that, but it looks like you're coming out of something here where you had your guard up, where you needed to, maybe defend yourself a little bit more about something. But it looks like it's coming to an end. All right. The second thing that's coming through is that, yeah, there may be something that you want, but there's someone in the way and someone's not giving it up. All right. So it could be like, maybe a job position that you really want. The person in that role at your company has been there for, 400 years. And you're like, we really need like, we need to figure, maybe have 2 of these roles or something like that. Anyway, it just feels like there may be some compromise you might have to do. And that's where that challenge is, because again, Venus and Aries is not really open to compromise. But remember, you have so many other great things happening. And what else? It could even be, again, like work and the workspace, career, profession, your passions, anything there. All right. What you're really feeling in your bones. It also may be a partner. You have the star in your crown. Great. Your head's in a good space. You're like, yeah, I'm in a place where, Pisces energy, again, is just very healing. I'm in a place of healing. I'm in a place where, I'm overcoming, obstacles. I'm now moving into this world, or I want to move into this world where everything is just, working in my favor. Everything is growing around me. That's that high frequency, that go with it. Okay. Go with it. The star is everything. It's wisdom, it's knowledge, it's enlightenment, but it's you doing you. Yeah. And you have the Queen of Cups. So again, very emotionally moving month, especially with all this water energy. The Queen of Cups is amazing. She does what her heart desires. It looks like you're definitely letting things go now, okay? And the Queen of Cups is someone who is very, intuitive and empathetic, and she's the biggest thing about her is there's so much self-love here. That's how she can be in touch with her emotions. She has that emotional intelligence that, you know, allows her to make karmically sound decisions, and it feels like that mama bear energy that I was talking about earlier. It does feel strong here, maybe in a paternal way, maybe in a way like you are a manager. There's a big shift where you may be taking on a little bit more responsibility, or want to, or know you have to. Okay, and then you have that Five of Cups in your future, and so it looks like there is going to be something that does come to, and yeah, and you see this figure looking at the spilled cups. They're spilled. You're not gonna drink the wine off the ground, right? Two cups right behind him. All he's got to do is turn around, let go of the past. Let go of the past. All right. So the way that I'm going to clarify it, but for a lot of this, it does feel like a little bit of like missed opportunity. Okay. And only reason is because you got the Page of Cups, you got the Two of Wands, and then the Five of Cups. And the Two of Wands, again, great plan, but don't just, you got to actually continue to move forward at some point, right? And so you see that bridge, right? Pick up the cups, cross the bridge, you're good. The bridge connects the future and the past. And so he's a little stuck in the past. And so there is that sense of like even acceptance of moving forward, okay? Of these new things happening in your life. And that's even with that Seven of Wands, there could even be a little bit of y'all still resisting it, still just like, nope, not ready. I'm not ready. I have, I want this, and I'm dreaming of this, and this is the new world. This is a new era I want to create for myself. You got to take that action. Yeah. So again, I'm going to clarify. I'm going to see what's in your sap first. Sagittarius, if you like this reading, it'd be great if you like and subscribe and leave comments. Tell me what's going on. It may, there's honestly, there's bigger things in April, but again, transformation mode, transition, all of that. Y'all are amazing. Let's see. Yeah, you're going to be fine. That's why I'm just like, I really don't feel that to you. Some of y'all may be, but that would be more that Two of Wands. Now, King of Cups, great. You got the pair. You want it all emotionally. You really feel, it's a lot of that healing that you're going to be doing this month. You're going to receive. It feels like that is exactly what you want. The King and the Queen. The King, the difference between them is that the Kings, their powers, their, energies are a little bit more, external. They're more public facing as well. And so there is this great harmony when you get both of them, because it does feel like for a lot of y'all, you are thinking of others. You want to be the rock for others, that emotional support for others. But for a lot of y'all may be seeking it too. However, in March, it does feel like you will be in a good place emotionally. Yeah. You have that Knight of Pentacles in your external factors area. Yeah. Someone's in it to win it. Someone wants to spend this journey with you. It can be work. It can be career. It can be, home, family, whatever it is. But the Knight of Pentacles is very disciplined. He's very diligent. He's very hardworking. And he is in it for the long haul. All right. And so, yeah, this can be a relationship. It can be a business. It can be work related. The Knight of Pentacles is Virgo, by the way. Remember, Virgo rules your 10th house of career. So there may be something here. All right. But again, it's more about this long-term vision. And you also have the Three of Wands, another card indicating you're ready to go. Let's do it. Let's do it. I've already, Two of Wands is a little bit like okay, I'm in this place. Like, this is great. Let me just process, plan, let me figure things out. But also, this feels good. I get, I'm in a good place. This is like, okay, I've learned everything I had to do here. I've already processed everything. Now I'm ready to go. And then you have the sun in your final outcome, which, if you've ever got a tarot reading, it is the biggest yes in tarot. And like I said, this month there's like another, reset. And the sun, card 19, 1 plus 9 equals 10. It's like a little rebirth, right? One, new beginning. Yeah, the wisdom child, tapping into your inner child. But also, it's, when you see the star, the sun, where they're not wearing any clothes, it's you being able to express yourself, you being your authentic self. You've got nothing to hide. You're feeling blessed. And the sun, I mean, you see that banner there, the red banner. There's a sense of achievement. There's this, it's you in all your glory. It is opportunities. It is good health. It's all of that. It is the sun, optimism, wealth, everything. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to be good. Okay. But you will have to move forward. I'm going to look at the 2 of Wands first. Page of Wands. Okay. Page of Wands. I love that. You got these 2 pages. Yeah, it does look like you do that. And that's more about thinking of your future. And it can be long term, but with something that you're ready to just build, something new, something that really inspires you. A lot of work energy, work and career. But again, if you're not here for that, it's just your passions or a creative project. I want to see that 5 of Cups. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there you go. The Hangman. So that's great, because this is just saying, like, yeah, there is this, you are going to be on top of it emotionally, as long as you don't hold on to the past. Let bygones be bygones. You see water literally under the bridge, just in case there's someone else involved, and usually there is. Yeah. But then you have the Hangman, which is saying, let's move forward and see things in a different way now. This was meant to happen. It wasn't meant for you. Clearly, there's something great. Yeah? Clearly, there's something great. Even with the Hangman, you see his halo. All he did was look at things in a different way. Why? Because the old ways were no longer working. Yeah? He comes right before the death card. Yeah? Card 13. And so he's preparing himself for a big transformation, and you cannot do that if you're holding on to the past. And again, a lot of things from the past are going to, come up with Mercury retrograde. So, yeah, see this as this emotional healing, but again, it is something that you want. So and you're going to be fine. You're going to be good. You got the sun in your, okay, so let's break it down week by week. Sagittarius, let's see the first week. First week of March, as you know, Mars moves into Pisces. We have the total blood moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. We have Venus exile Uranus, Sun trine Jupiter. You have just a number of these amazing aspects. And then Venus does move into Aries. Mercury does have, conjunct the sun in Pisces. We do have that grand water trine. Venus will conjunct Neptune in Aries. And Venus will conjunct Saturn. Mercury will trine Jupiter. We covered all of that. All in that's just the first week. Let's see what's going on for you for the first week of March. Just a little bit of a, yeah. So a big theme. I like, sometimes some things just blow my mind. All right, I'll leave it light. But you just got the 8 of Cups. Yep. The first week, where the 8 of Cups, you see an eclipse. That's happening. And it's also, this card is attributed to Saturn in Pisces. It is a Pisces card. All right. Saturn just left Pisces and he's just leaving. He's moving forward. He knows there's change. He's accepted the change, but he's moving forward in a way where nothing's really wrong with the Cubs, to be honest. He just knows something's better for him. He knows he's heeding his calling. He's moving to higher ground. So there's your sign, okay? There's got to be some change, and it may, be emotional. It is Cups. He is wading through the waters, rocks in the water, so it's not like, you got to be alert. You got to pay attention, and you got to be, conscious of what's happening, okay? And it's not just a smooth, journey through the water. So there may be a little bit of bumpy moments, but it's being done. A game-changing moment. Now, let's see what's going on for you the second week. Again, next week we'll really dive into the second week. It does look like there may be something here. I mean, you do have a lot of strong relationship energy. Jupiter finally goes direct. As you know, Mars will conjunct the North Node. And that, we've already had Venus, the Sun, and Mercury all conjunct the North Node. And now you have Mars. And yeah, we'll talk about it next week. There's obviously a lot more, but those are the big things for you because that's still in your fourth house of home and family. Second week for you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what did I say? What did I just say? I said there's like a lot of relationship energy for you. Well, there you go. You have the Lovers. There you go. When I talk about commitments, is a big thing that's going to happen this month for you, and you're going to be reassessing a lot. You're going to be thinking a lot, or even a lot of you are moving in a new direction, like ascending in this new direction. Like you're going from like going steady to, proposal, all of that. Anyway, congratulations, the Lovers. Yeah, it really is your choice. It's the same thing as like what I was saying with Venus and Aries. What's in it for me? I got to do what's right for me. But I mean, it's not like, but again, higher self, higher good. Yeah. But you're good. You're good. The Lovers is also a card where it is deepening relationships. And that is the week that Jupiter goes direct in Cancer in your 8th house of, intimacy and building relationships. And again, it doesn't have to be, if you're not for love, it can be career. Anything else, wherever that energy is for you. The third week, oh yeah, we have the biggest thing is honestly the new moon. Yeah, that's honestly the big thing, and then the equinox, and Mercury going direct, and Mars trine Jupiter. So let's see what's going on for you. That's such an auspicious week. Let's see what's going on for you for the third week. Okay, of March. Yeah. Yeah, you're good. You're waking up. Judgment is like that wake-up call. It's a spiritual awakening. Remember, this is a month, especially with all this Pisces energy, like seeking what's really meaningful for you. With Jupiter, your ruler, going direct, being the ruler of the 9th. It's just like you see the things that you needed to see. And you know your life purpose, all of that. It's a big week. And then the last week, we do have that Saturn Cazimi. So that's going to be Wednesday, March 25th, the same day that the Sun will sextile Pluto. So I just feel like, again, these conjunctions, consider them as seeding points. We get this once a year, the Saturn Cazimi, with the Sun conjunct Saturn, right at the time of the new moon, by the way, and the equinox. Though, really pay attention to this date. There's something forming in your 5th house of love and pleasure and, procreation, creative projects, all of that. And then Friday, March 27th, we will have Saturn sextile Pluto at 5 degrees. So remember, that's part of the prism portal. Yeah. What you experienced last summer. And it's really locking in now. Okay. For April, which is Really big. And then Venus actually moves into Taurus on Monday, the 30th. But obviously, we'll talk about that when we get to the week. Let's see what's going on for you the last week of March. Well, someone's becoming really empowered. Wow. You are knocking it out of the park here. Look at all of that. Well, I mean, to be honest, look at your entire spread, right? You have mostly major arcana and court cards. And what, 3 pips or, 3 or 4 pips? Yeah. Anyway, the Emperor in your final outcome. You passed Spiritual Warrior Academy. This is the ruler. He's also like a big authority. That's what's happening, right? In your 5th. But Saturn actually natively rules your 2nd, so there's gonna be money stuff this month. All right, but he's on top of it. Funny enough, remember the 2 of Wands with the world in his hand? I call him the young emperor. Yeah, he's Aries. You see the rims in his throne. This card is attributed to Mars and Aries. Anyway, you're good. There's a lot happening for you. You have a lot of changes happening in a direction that you're going to love. You see the Emperor. That's power. That's empowerment. Pluto is very active the last week, but also it's the Emperor. And again, because you have a lot of family energy, yeah, paternal, right? That role, that spiritual warrior, really strong paternal energy, even big boss energy at work as well. Sagittarius, you're amazing. Next week we'll go deeper in the aspects. Again, a lot happening, and the bonus spread, the second spread, we're gonna pull more cards, and I'm actually I'm excited for this one. We'll look at love, we'll look at career, we'll look at money, we'll look at we'll pull the and the big one, what you can your big message. But tier 3 members, really good and legendary members. Thank you for being members. You know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to join. If you like this reading, it'd be great. If you like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. This is a big month for you. This is a big month. All right, Sagittarius. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.